Hello guys, welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm gonna explain how to read from a Luma waveform and how to use it, why to use it, when to use it. So before we dive in, if you are new to my channel, consider subscribing. It really helps me. I'm gonna be posting a series of tutorials on the individual tools within DaVinci Resolve. Without further ado, let's dive in. By default, you will be always shown a parade scope. To change that to Luma waveform, just click on the drop-down menu of a parade, and there you can pick a waveform. Now, on the right side of it, there is an abacus where are further settings. Let's go quickly through them. By default, you will have selected Y and colorize option, which stands for Luma, which is the brightness. This allows us to read just a brightness or the contrast of the particular image, which is useful during primary color grade. I can also choose to look at the horizontal and vertical chrominance. I can choose to look at the individual color channels, but all you really need for now is to be on Y. Easy example to show how to read it would be this gray gradient. I'm just gonna go full screen, which you can do so by pressing Shift plus F. And then I'm going to pop the scopes, which you can do by right-clicking the mouse and click Show Scopes. We can see we have our Luma waveform on, which we want. But in a case you would want to have more scopes at the same time, you can pick two windows, and you can pick if you want to have parade or a vector scope. Or you can click on a 4-window option and have all scopes visible, but for now we need just the Luma waveform. I'm gonna position the waveform just under the gradient so it is visible. That's good. So, how to read it? As you can see, the graph has two axes. The x-axis, the horizontal lines, represents the horizontal position of every single pixel in the image. The y-axis represents the brightness. The higher the number, the brighter it is. The lower the number, the darker it is. Now, if we look at our gray gradient, you can see the left side is darker and the right side is brighter, which is represented beautifully on the graph. You can see the left side of the graph is down on a y-axis, which represents the shadows. And you can see the right side of the graph is up on a y-axis, which is in the highlights area. To better understand an x-axis, which stands for position of individual pixels in the image, I'm going to show you another example. If you are full screen as me and want to move to different image, just press Tab and bottom arrow key. Here you can see that on the left part of the image, we have a lighter shade of gray, which is represented on a graph as well. See how when I move this block, it is represented on a graph in a real time. Here we have a darker shade of a gray, which brightness is represented on a y-axis between the 340 to 512 points, and its position on the left side of the x-axis, same as on the image. Again, if I move with this block, it is all represented in real time on a graph. Now remember, only horizontal position of the pixels is represented in a graph, not vertical. Vertical stands for brightness of those pixels. So you can see by moving a block up and down, nothing is happening in the graph. So let's move to real world scenario. Here I have a real estate project from some time ago. If we look at the side of the house that is facing us, the side that is lit by the sun, you can see it is represented on a graph. You can see the pink colors of the wall as well. Now, if we look on the right side of the house, which is in a shade, the brightness of this side is lower, so you can see it's reflected in a graph as well. You can see the white clouds, being the brightest part of the image, are represented here on a graph as well. I was able to say it is the brightest part of the image because you can see here on a graph, it stands above all pixels on y-axis. By playing the image, you can see again the brightness of individual pixels are being presented real time to the graph. You can even see this lamp lit by sun is represented in the graph. To see how our changes are affecting the graph, I will raise the highlights and you can see that increase in brightness is being represented on a graph. You can see the highlights on the left side of the image are clipping, which we do not want, because this means our image is overexposed. So I will bring it back down. Same applies for shadows. If I move a lift wheel, you can see it is represented real time in a graph. By going under 0 of the y-axis means that our image is being underexposed, which we do not want either. So this is the tool that can help you see what the monitors see, and essentially what people will see. So by judging the brightness just by your eyes, it's not really a way to go. So for now, this was the very basic information about the waveform, and we are going to go more in depth in another video I'm going to be posting next week. So be sure to subscribe if you like the tutorial, hit that bell button for notification, and tell me down in the comments what tools you want me to cover next. Thanks for watching, Godspeed, and see you on the next one.